In this episode, I'm curious, since I've been here for 17 years.
Yeah, America is basically. My experience in America has been okay, except for algae, which in the presence of radiation, oxygen, light, heat, and nitrogen start to grow.
I've heard there are all sorts of shady things, in an interesting way.
There are two big projects. One project that is kind of, we say NASA and us.
Hello. I had the chance to meet some Romanians in a mall in Orlando who were speaking Romanian, and when I heard them speaking Romanian, I asked them where they were from and what they were doing here. I've also met other Romanians like that over time. They told me they came for a conference in Orlando, something to do with NASA. They did a project and won second and third place, or maybe first. And when I heard about NASA, I said okay, I'd like to go to that conference too, because I'm interested in space, the universe, NASA. I even did a bed rest study for NASA back in 2008, when I was just starting out in America. But that's another story, much more detailed and broader, for another future vlog. In this vlog, I'll be presenting the conference that took place in Orlando about a week ago. Let's say 2 weeks ago, because honestly I can't even remember anymore, having so much on my mind and so much work to do, since so many conferences are held in Orlando. We have the convention center, a very large convention center, one of the biggest in all of America. With a simple Google search, you can see that Chicago ranks first, with 2.6 million square feet of available space. Next comes Las Vegas with 2.5 million square feet available, and Orlando with 2.1 million square feet. So Orlando competes with Las Vegas for the most and the largest conferences, mostly business conferences. Since the climate is warm in both Orlando and Las Vegas, both cities offer a wide range of entertainment and fun. Las Vegas offers casinos and a wide variety of restaurants, while Orlando offers amusement parks, restaurants, and much more. Many businesses and commercial companies choose these two destinations for conferences. Throughout the year, all year round, simply because the climate here is warm all year, conferences are held even in December and January, when the weather is pleasant, while in Chicago, for example, it's minus 20 degrees. And simply because there are so many visitors who come to Orlando from all over the world for the amusement parks, they can also attend these conferences, and in this way, the services or products offered by these businesses and commercial companies can get, let's say, greater advertising and publicity. Now let's take a look at what this conference is about and what Space Elevators, Revolutionizing Access to Space, means, which took place at ISDC Orlando. At the end, I also have a few interviews I did with some 11th and 12th grade students about what they did for NASA or for the International Space Center regarding the space elevator concept. What would be the potential benefits? Well, the concept of the space elevator, although it may seem straight out of science fiction, is actually a serious proposal to reduce costs and increase the efficiency of access to space. The central idea is to build a fixed structure, a cable that connects the Earth to a point in space, usually an orbital station. This structure would allow the transport of goods and people into space using elevators or lifts, thus eliminating the need for rockets and the costs associated with them. What would be the potential benefits of the space elevator? There are many. Although the concept is attractive, there are major technical challenges that need to be overcome. What would the technical challenges be? First of all, number 1, reducing costs. Eliminating the need to use rockets would significantly reduce launch costs, making access to space much more affordable. Number 2, increasing the frequency of launches. Space elevators could allow for much more frequent launches, facilitating space activities such as scientific research, space resource exploitation, and space tourism. Number 3, improved safety. Transport by elevator would generally be safer than rocket launches, reducing the risk of accidents. Number 4. Access to space for everyone. Lower costs could democratize access to space, allowing more countries, companies, and individuals to participate in space activities. What materials can be used? Building a cable strong and light enough to withstand enormous tensions is a major challenge. Materials like carbon nanotubes are considered the most promising, but producing them on a large scale and at reasonable costs is still a major issue. Construction. Building a space elevator would be a monumental engineering project, requiring international coordination and considerable financial resources. Safety. Ensuring the safe operation of the elevator, protecting it from meteorite impacts, and managing space debris are critical aspects. The sessions and conferences at ISDC, including those dedicated to the space elevator, provide a platform for researchers, engineers, and enthusiasts to discuss, too.
The progress, challenges, and also the prospects of this technology. The SDC conferences are known for promoting collaboration and innovation in the field of space development. In conclusion, the space elevator represents a revolutionary vision for access to space, with the potential to radically transform the space industry. Although there are significant technical challenges, advances in materials and engineering continue to fuel hope that this technology will become a reality in the near future. And now, let's see the interviews we conducted, with the necessary explanations at the end. Hello. Hi. I'm really interested in these events, and I'm especially curious because I've been here in America for 17 years, and I don't really know what's going on in Romania anymore. Do you like America? Yes, America. In principle, my experience in America has been okay. Aside from, I don't know, we actually started out in New York, which, from what I've heard from a lot of Americans, isn't really representative of the States. It's an anomaly. And I think we were a bit biased because we spent 3.5 hours at customs, so we got a taste of it right from the start. So, they give you a hard time, as we say. Yeah, exactly. So, with a lot of questions and, well, they probably thought something. Not necessarily a lot of questions, but there was just a really long line. They made us wait in 2 lines for nothing. Yeah, and what did you think about America before you came here? Did you have a different opinion, and when you got here, was it completely different? Or oh, ho, American or New Yorker? But I would have thought it would be a bit cleaner. With how much budget there is for literally everything. Being suddenly the richest nation, I would have thought there wouldn't be so much trash on the streets. New York, Queens. More specifically, Manhattan is relatively okay. And here, in Florida. How do you find it? Florida is really nice. Well, we've only stayed at this hotel. We've stayed in Florida, and I think we're kind of on the outskirts of Orlando. No, not anymore. There are suburbs much farther out, but we're not downtown. That's how it seems to me, right? And here it's very relaxed. I mean, yeah, life is very. This is where we've stayed, yeah. And what do you think? In general, the people. They're very welcoming, at least here in Florida. Not so much in New York. No, in New York they're not. For example, I've never been greeted there. I have here, in Romania. Everyone in the elevator. Hello, how are you? Which floor are you going to? How are you doing? How's your day in Romania? No. In Romania, people give you dirty looks if you approach them. Yeah, exactly. What project did you do for NASA? For NASA or not? For NASA. It was associated with NASA. I'm not sure if there's another project where you have to design a spacecraft that's autonomous, that can basically survive on its own. So it can support a predetermined number of people at all times and doesn't need to return to Earth. Yeah, I understand. And I heard you won first place. Yes, our team did. Awesome. Congratulations. Yeah, in 10th grade, in the big group, we took first place. Congratulations. Yeah, thank you. What else can you say about America? What impressed you the most? There's a lot of diversity. I mean, you can get pretty much anything from almost anywhere. New York is really easy to get around. At least New York, since it's a grid. I'm talking about New York coordinates. You just go here and there. Yeah, I was also really impressed by the diversity, especially considering that you come from Romania where 99.99% of people are white, and then you see such a huge diversity. That really impressed me too. And about prices, what do you think about car prices? That they don't include the taxes? Yeah, well, they're a bit lower, I think. It's 9 instead of 17, but here it's 6.75%, so 6%, 6.25%. Yeah, it's okay. So here it's a bit more. Not everything is extremely expensive, unfortunately. Yeah, good thing we didn't need it. Thank God we didn't need it. It didn't happen to us, but the hospitals are, yeah, unfortunately, the healthcare system is extremely expensive. No, I can't say it's completely terrible. It's very modern, very elegant. Honestly, it feels like you're staying in a 5-star hotel when you go to a hospital. But not all the services, ratings, and prices are amazing. So, if there were a president, probably even more extreme than Trump, who would come and radically change the healthcare and insurance systems, I'd be happy, because the prices for these two systems are insanely high. So, what's this event about? This is an event, so to speak. It's called NSS. It's a conference that takes place every year. It's called ISDC. It happens annually and covers topics that are very trendy and current, mainly about space colonization. And what problems people face when it comes to colonizing space. For example, I came here with my team of 6 people, from Romania, of course. We came here with an innovative idea about how to create spacecraft that can be built very easily, at relatively low costs, of course, as low as possible considering how vast space is. That's how we came up with our idea to build, to make the walls of the spacecraft not out of iron, metals, heavy metals, or precious metals like they do in other ships, which, of course, are very, very hard to extract and bring a lot of logistical problems. We came up with an innovative idea to use some mushrooms. Some mushrooms with a strong structure, engineered in the lab, specially treated so they can withstand radiation from outer space.
Are you serious? Mushrooms?
Mushrooms?
From the lab, the spaceship would be built out of those mushrooms.
Yeah, we used a project made by these really smart guys at NASA. It's called the Big Project of NASA with our mushroom idea. What does this big project say? That the spaceships of the future should be sent into space in modules, to send several modules into space and have them expand. How did we think to expand these? Through these mushrooms of ours, which are combined with all sorts of algae that, in the presence of radiation, oxygen, light, heat, and nitrogen, start to grow. They can begin to grow in a controlled way up to a certain point where we stop their growth, forming the complete spaceship.
Very interesting. I'm amazed by what you're telling me. These are some new, innovative things.
Yeah, for us too. That's why we came. We thought not to do something ordinary as possible. We wanted to have a more striking idea. It took us quite a while to come up with it. Yeah, and it worked.
Super. I'm going to go inside these halls too, to see what it's all about. I'm really amazed, and I'm interested in these fields and in America. Is this your first time in America?
It's my first time in America.
And who paid for this trip? The Romanian government?
Definitely not the Romanian government. Part of it we paid ourselves, and part was covered by the school.
I see. Super. And what do you think about America?
America here in Orlando is very clean. I really like that about this area. I was in New York before coming to Orlando. Still on the same trip, I didn't like New York that much. The people were a bit weirder, and it was very dirty.
Yeah. The plane was from Bucharest.
Yes, from Bucharest. Yeah.
So you went Bucharest, New York.
Bucharest, New York.
New York, Orlando. Did you stay in New York for a day or two as well?
We stayed 3 days, 3 nights, I think.
Did you go into the city? Did you go to Times Square? Did you walk around there?
We went everywhere. Yeah, well, we stayed in Queens.
And that way you probably noticed the city and saw that it's dirty.
Well, it's really not nice of me to say that it's a dirty city. The buildings are absolutely impressive. The size of the buildings and all that. Yeah, but it's a bit dirty. It has that problem.
So it's better to call things as they are, because it's not like I'm a fan or anything. That's just how it is, and Orlando really is beautiful.
Orlando? Yeah, it's beautiful. Well, our teacher told us that Orlando exists, and that there's also a city in Romania called Figuraș. Do you know about the city of Figuraș? He said that Figuraș, Orlando, is like a Figuraș 100 times bigger, with the joke being that in Figuraș nothing ever happens.
Yeah, it's the same, but we've got amusement parks, and it's a magnet for visitors.
I went yesterday, actually just yesterday, to Space Canary, the one where they launch the rockets. Yeah,
After a short coffee and refreshment break, let's see who else they're interviewing here at this gathering, at this event. Hi, what's your name? Reyes. Christy Basov, nice to meet you. And what exactly are you guys doing here at this event?
We are proud award winners at an esteemed international competition where we meticulously design innovative space settlements, and we were graciously invited to attend this significant international conference, which is being held right here in the vibrant city of Orlando.
I understand that you took first place, the very first place in the world at this competition, and that's why you were invited.
Yes, well, we are the invited award winners from first to third place.
Congrats.
In several categories, it's not exactly the part.
Is the high school you're in specialized in this field? In the science?
In astronomy?
Yes.
No, it's not. I mean, it was removed in the 90s. As far as I know, astronomy. We're from the math, informatics, and natural sciences track. There are also teams from the humanities.
I see. I thought you were specialized in this, and that's why you're working on these projects. And what did you think about America before you came? Is this your first time coming here to America?
This is my third time coming. I actually came twice last year, once with my parents for a visit and the second time for the same conference. This is my second time at this conference. Last time it was in Los Angeles.
Oh, that's great. And what did you think about America before you came here? Was it just from movies, just from TV? And when you got here, did your opinion about America change? Or can you please tell me your thoughts about what you expected and how you actually saw it?
Yeah, well, what can I say? I didn't. I haven't changed my mind about all the culinary diversity, for example. I mean, I heard there are all sorts of weird things, in an interesting way, in the stores, all kinds of sodas and stuff like that. So in that sense, I wasn't really impressed. I didn't expect people to be so warm. I mean, I often had interactions with totally random people on the street, with whom I just started talking about all sorts of things. They're very polite.
Yeah, very polite, very friendly, especially here in the southern United States, like Florida, Texas, and California. They're really friendly. When I entered the hotel, there was another group of Romanians, and I wanted to interview a young lady from Constanța, and she was really surprised by how I was talking to her. So it's like, this is just how people are here, friendly. And she was just really shocked. Like, you know how it is in Romania, right? So you don't talk to someone if you don't know them, And she said to me, she goes, "Can I refuse?" I said, okay, no problem. So for her, it was a shock to answer a few questions or a few things. I mean, I remember that's just how Romania is. That's the style, But here people are much friendlier. It's probably a really big cultural difference, right?
Yeah, I noticed that too.
And about Los Angeles. What? What do you think? How did you see it?
I admit I liked it more. I mean, I like Orlando more than Los Angeles.
Yeah, I agree with you. Same for me. I've traveled all over America. In the past, I also worked in transportation and I traveled all over America. And I wasn't really impressed by Los Angeles because of so many people on the streets.
So many of them.
And they're just sitting on the sidewalks. And there was so much trash on the roads and highways. And honestly, no one picks up the garbage. It just stays there for years and years. So these things really shocked me.
Yeah, you asked me about my opinion before and after we talked.
Exactly, yeah.
At first, it was Los Angeles, the city of Hollywood. Then it's tent after tent after tent on the street.
Yeah, it's something like that. So it really hits you. You can't believe this is America. And basically, this is one of the richest, or probably even the richest country in the world. And yet it has this kind of social status in certain places or for certain people. Regarding Orlando, what do you think about Orlando?
It's very quiet, very flat. I understand why it would be flat. About hurricanes and all that.
Hurricanes. It's a tropical area.
Yeah, you can tell. I don't know. It seems like the cities. I've also been to Florida, in the Clearwater area. Also, very spread out. Very.
Yeah, very, very big.
A vacation city. That's how it seems to me. A vacation state.
Yeah. Basically, we live off tourism. We don't have industry here. We barely have anything. We basically live off tourism. There are a lot of visitors every year, every month. Basically, that's what we live off. About the prices, would you say they're more expensive or cheaper here than in Romania? Like in stores or?
They're more expensive, but not much more expensive. I'd say that not as much as I expected I can.
I understand. Do you like living in America? Or in?
I wanted to go to the States, to university. Unfortunately, I wasn't accepted because of the new reforms brought by. I don't know if I can say.
By Trump.
Yeah. So I was thinking about it.
I'm sorry about that. That's how it is. What can we do? There's nothing we can do. These are what Trump wants. Against immigration, against all that.
But anyway, a 4-year term doesn't mean the end of America. I thought, for example, about a master's or a PhD. Come to the States. You got me pretty well, because I've always wanted to. I've always been somehow drawn to the United States.
Oh, great. Okay, great. Thank you for the interview, and I wish you success.
Thank you.
Hi. Hello.
What's your name?
I'm Ona Tenku.
And I'm Teodora Tripescu.
Great. I understand you're part of the group with NASA or with space.
Yes.
Yes. We attended a conference.
Great. And what name did you actually make for yourselves?
So, there are two big projects. One project, which we kind of call NASA, and we took part in an extension of it called Living in a Healthy Space, where we had to theoretically build an agriculture module and help, in theory, figure out how to grow plants in space.
Oh, super interesting. Awesome. And did you come to any interesting conclusions?
Yes, definitely. We learned a lot of things about how to grow plants even here on Earth without using soil, like actual soil, and without using chemicals and so on.
And out of curiosity, what can you use instead of soil?
Well, there's a method of growing plants called aeroponics, where you basically create a healthy environment for them by combining fish farming with plant cultivation at the same time. So, in large water tanks, you raise fish and the water absorbs nutrients from them. Then you place the plants so that their roots are submerged in that water.
Wow, that's super interesting. Is this your first time in America?
First time.
And how do you find America?
Very interesting.
And very different from Romania.
Very different.
So far, we've only been to New York and now we've arrived in Orlando. And they're two totally different worlds.
Two different worlds. What do you think of New York?
Crowded.
Crowded, crazy, icy, and I'm hungry.
How do you find Orlando?
Spread out? It's really hard to get from one place to another.
Extraordinary. The distances are incredible. What do you think about prices in America compared to Romania?
They're much higher. I mean, there's no comparison.
I don't know what kind of income people in America have, but for us, with our incomes, prices are much higher than in Romania. I mean, there's just no comparison.
I see, yes. And the restaurants?
Same thing, everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
Great. And do you have anything else interesting to say about America?
I don't know. It's different world.
People are very brash. I mean, that's just the culture. Yeah, it's all about small talk.
Yes. And do you have anything else to say to the Americans?
I'm not sure exactly. I find everything I see really interesting, but also very different. It's clear that you need more time to get used to a place that's not your home.
Right now, you're basically like this. It's basically confusing at first. Thank you very much for the interview, and I wish you lots of success going forward. We're back with more comments and analysis regarding this space elevator, or rather, the lift. Spatial. Here in Orlando, if you go to Disney, to the Epcot Disney theme park, you can try out one of the park's attractions, namely the space elevator, which fits about 15 to 20 people, let's say. And it's as if you're in this elevator, as if you're traveling above the earth. This attraction is called the elevator. It's included in the price of admission to the theme park. What does this attraction do? Well, it simulates going up and down into space in this cosmic elevator. Inside the elevator, there's a circular viewing screen on the floor and on the ceiling, which gives you a simulated view of the journey into space. As the elevator ascends, in quotes, it makes you feel like you're going up at high speed. Guests watch as the Epcot Disney theme park shrinks below them, then they pass through clouds, eventually arriving at the space station. The screens even simulate the local weather in Orlando during the ascent, believe it or not. If, for example, it's raining outside, then the windows will show rain as well. The elevator ride is designed to be an immersive experience, with special sounds and visual effects to enhance the illusion of travel. The theme park designers consulted with NASA about the logistics of a space elevator to make it more realistic. So you can visit Disney's Epcot Park and ride in such a space elevator. Just a moment, that's not all. When you arrive at the space station, the doors open on the other side of the elevator. There's a space-themed restaurant. The restaurant's design features floor-to-ceiling windows that offer simulated views of Earth, complete with details like floating astronauts and spacecraft. Guests exit the restaurant the same way they entered, experiencing a simulated descent back to the Epcot theme park. It's all just a simulation designed to make you believe you've actually been to space and dined at a restaurant up there, at the space station. Here we have the entrance to the hotel. Basically, there are 6 rows in hotels, because at first I got confused. Instead of going to the Rosen Center, I went to the Rosen Plaza, since there are about 6 or 7 hotels with the same name. They're all very close to each other on International Drive, and you have to pay attention because one is Rosen Inn, another is Rosen Plaza, another is Rosen Center, another is Rosen Hotel. Rosen, I don't even know what else. It's enough to give you a headache how many Rosen hotels there are on International Drive, all within a space of 500 meters, maybe a kilometer. On another note, they bought when it was the right time to buy, 30 or 40 years ago, because now you can't even touch the prices on International Drive. We're talking hundreds of millions of dollars, if there were anything for sale, if there were a hotel for sale, because they just don't sell. Everything is rented out, even the land underneath the hotel is leased. Nothing is for sale, nothing gets sold on the main roads. Here we have the meeting rooms. Absolutely anyone can attend these meetings, and entry is free. You don't have to pay for any ticket, and what's more, at some meetings there's even free coffee and some donuts, or free sandwiches on the house. That's how it goes at business events too. But at some business events here in America, there is a fee or an entry ticket. But here, there was no entry ticket required. Here, people talk about what they want to do, about the projects they have, or what projects they're working on now or in the future. Here are the long corridors of the hotel. All over America, as you can see, there are carpets everywhere. In Europe, carpets aren't really a thing, but in America, carpets are used everywhere. And here we have an impressive pool in the middle of the building, with lots of people, many visitors enjoying themselves in the Florida heat. A large pool, jacuzzi, and many other amenities that this resort hotel offers. Basically, a few restaurants inside, cafes, and many other things. Those were all the interviews for today. That was the vlog. Thank you for your attention.